They're the best. I don't know. Now I fall in love with bangs.
All right. April 17th at 2:49 p.m. Reference case 826. In the room is Chief Ryle, Detective Lanier, and Deputy Sean Feldman. And you had a chance to read that outside?
Yes, sir.
All right. So if you understand it, you can just sign down there at the bottom.
What time did you say? 14:49?
Yes. Yes. There you go, sir.
Okay, so I just got a series of questions I need to ask you.
Yes, sir.
So we received a complaint that on Tuesday, March the 12th, 2019, at approximately 1800 hours, you were in a shift briefing where Commander Deaton was present.
Yes.
It is reported that during that briefing, Commander Deaton made some remarks about Live PD, specifically some remarks about one of the producers. Do you recall the briefing I described?
I do.
What do you remember was said by Commander Deaton?
I remember his first statement, just talking about Live PD, and I guess how one of the producers is married. I've only ridden with the male producers, so I actually don't even know any of the females, their names or anything. I know their faces. And he described one of them as somebody with a nose, and he just said he was fucking her. Of course, with my previous instance at my previous agency, and everybody kind of knows what happened at my previous agency with a dispatcher. Everybody was like, well, Feldman, and so of course that got bypassed, and then everybody just kind of started naming some names. Commander Deaton said some things under his breath that I don't recall. Partially, I wasn't trying to remember everything. It wasn't pertinent to the briefing or anything. But he just kind of made remarks about how he knew she was single and whatnot, but I don't remember anything else.
One of the things I want to just ask you right out of the gate. So, Commander Deaton, you have taken a form of disciplinary action
We have.
against him. Can you just talk about what you've done?
Yeah, briefly, I'll just say that we did the investigation. We called in over 17 people, I believe it was, that were said to be present at this this place where the allegation occurred.
All right, LT. Today is April 8th. Time is approximately 2:30. Oh, sorry. It's in reference to system number 826. In the room is myself, Sergeant Lodeforth with OCS, Chief Ryle, and Lieutenant Goldman. Lieutenant Goldman, are you familiar with the employee witness notice?
No, I'm not.
All right, sir. If you want to take a minute to read that. All right, sir. If you read it and understand it completely, if you wouldn't mind signing right there. Your employee signature. And Chief's going to take over and ask you some questions.
Switch. All right, LT.
And overwhelmingly, the investigation concludes and shows that what was alleged did not occur. Now, was there a comment made? Absolutely, but a comment that can be addressed with an oral reprimand.
We received a complaint that on Tuesday, March the 12th of this year, at approximately 1800 hours, you were in a shift briefing with where Commander Deaton was present. It is reported that during the briefing, Commander Deaton made some remarks about a Live PD, specifically some remarks about one of the producers during that. Do you recall the briefing I described?
Yes, sir.
What do you remember was said by Commander Deaton?
I remember he made some comment about, he asked a question that he wanted to know who has fucked the Live PD chick.
Say that one more time.
He asked who has fucked the Live PD chick.
Okay.
And
Those words?
pretty close.
That's what we're going to do. But in addition to that, I've also talked to my all my chain of command. I had a meeting yesterday, every top level official in this agency, and went over all our policies in sexual harassment, including the county policy, and my expectations of this agency. And we have a zero tolerance policy on offenses like that.
Then he made a comment about something along the lines of somebody need to fuck her before she leaves and goes and is not around here anymore. Something to that effect.
And overwhelmingly, the investigation concludes and shows that what was alleged did not occur. And we're also reaching out to our corporate human resources for sensitivity training for our whole agency, including command staff, including myself, because I want people to understand the message of what we will tolerate and what we won't tolerate. But what I won't tolerate is an outside entity like an attorney's office or an association such as TMPA try to make the decisions based on what they want, just out of retaliation.
Did you find any of the comments Commander Deaton or any other person there made in violation of any policy?
Yes, sir.
What policy is that?
Sexual harassment policy.
Did you report it?
I did not.
Why not?
Because I feel like that I've already had a shot fired across my bow, and when I had an issue that I would discuss with the sheriff, and I'm trying to rebuild a relationship with him. That's probably not a real good excuse, but that's what I have.
In that sexual harassment policy, did you feel like you were a victim of that?
Chief, I wasn't offended by it per se, but I was pissed that I got put in that position.
Okay. By him?
By him, yes, sir.
Do you believe there is, well, it sounds like you do believe, that there is a connection between your decision to terminate those two deputies and the complaint that was filed against Commander Deaton?
Absolutely. And not only that, I don't think it's going to stop. Did in his, because he didn't do what, Commander Deaton did not do what was alleged, according to the investigation that I saw.
By the way, what did he do? What did he do?
So the investigation showed that he simply went in there and made a comment that in reference to the show that we were talking, that everyone knows about, and basically said, is anybody sleeping with the producer? And when he said that, some people will question and ask, first of all, that was inappropriate or appropriate. I will tell you that if he has information on that and thinks that could be occurring, he has a duty to see if that's correct.
What else do you remember about that event?
Well, I remember for me looking around the room and going, holy crap, because there were other females that were present. I felt that the room was a little uncomfortable after that was said, and then some small talk and kind of half joking between some of the guys and that sort of thing, and then the briefing was broke, and that was it. I mean, I was in my office, going from my office to the copy machine and back to the office and the copy machine because I couldn't get the copy machine to work. And I was trying to get all the evals done because they were due, right, on Friday. And we were off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I was trying to get everything wrapped up. And lo and behold, as soon as I got it working, he started conducting the briefing. So now I have a copy machine going off while I have a commander trying to talk. So I shut the thing down, copy machine in patrol room. I didn't want it running, obviously, while he's trying to talk. I didn't want to be rude, right? So I hit cancel. It messed up the whole thing. I was trying to go back and forth and getting it going. I was hearing his conversation, going through the briefing stuff that he was going over with the guys. I don't remember everything exactly what was said, but then I got to a point to where I couldn't go any further without fixing the copy machine. But he was still conducting briefings, so I stepped out and leaned against the interior of my door and listened to his briefing. And then that was at the time that I heard this come up. and I wanted to crawl under my desk. So it was just,
Is there something you felt you should have done different?
Chief, I'm gonna straight up honest with you. I wish that I wouldn't have had this conversation prior about the text message threads about our staffing and stuff. I wish I would not have ever had that conversation, because I would have brought this to you or to Chief Eacock. But after all that happened, and he told me, you know, I'm friends with the sheriff, right? You know, what else am I supposed to do? I'm in job preservation mode right now. So I don't know what else to say about that. It's not an excuse. Being in my position, I should have come and said something to somebody, but yeah, I didn't. You know, I kicked myself for that, but it was one of those deals where I felt like in my meeting with him, after I talked to the sheriff on that other deal, that I got a shot fired across my bow and pretty much put me in my place. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna get through this, just do my job and go home.
Is there anything else?
No, sir. And I apologize to you
Why?
for not bringing that to your attention,
I appreciate that.
because that sucks.
You gotta know that, that I take it all seriously, right, regardless of it is,
I know.
right?
I know you do. It's just, yeah, I have no excuse.
So
Chief.
behavior is behavior, right? So we adjust it where we can, and we get rid of it where we can, right? Where they're not
Yes, sir.
willing to. But behavior is behavior. You know, you've been a cop long enough to know that cops get a little crazy sometimes, right?
Yes, sir.
And supervisors gotta go, whoa, stand by,
Mhm.
right?
Yes, sir.
So that's what we do. And so, so keep that in mind next time,
All right.
okay?
I will.
Anything else I need to add?
No, sir. That's it.
Thank you for coming forward.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Does he want this copy?
LT, do you want your copy, sir?
I'll call her Trail and see if he's made a copy.
All right, sir, thank you.